See you. Guys, we are with the Minister again. Honorable Minister, good to see you again, sir.
Thank you.
All right. It's time for you to bring us up to speed on some issues. First, let's start with the issue of security. The last time we were here, security was, of course, everybody's concern in the FCT. Of course, after that, we've seen you swung to action. You visited all the area councils, holding stakeholder sessions with the traditional rulers, the security chiefs, and of course the elected officials in those area councils. Can we say the outcome of all of that shuttle visit is the relative peace that we are seeing now in the city?
Well, I would say a combination of so many factors. But first of all, let me sincerely thank you. The issue of security is germane to every government. And you realize that one of the key priority of the new agenda is to tackle the issue of insecurity, which has been there before this administration came. So security is something that every government owes dearly, because a government that cannot protect its people has no business to be in power. Like you said, last time when we met, there are some issues that which some of you consider that, is going out of hand, going out of context in Abuja. And I did say that that is not very much correct. However, that does not mean that there are no issues of insecurity here and there. We took a lot of steps. Like one of the steps we took is to really make sure that we visited all the area councils to have stakeholders and see also how they can have a buy-in in what government intends to do. A government alone cannot fight the issue of insecurity. Everybody has a duty to contribute one way or the other in terms of intelligence, in terms of information to security agencies. And so that visit alone, I can tell you, some of the successes we have recorded today. And what we discovered is that the people do not understand or do not even know what was going on in government. They have no connection with the government. And so it's like they're on their own. But we let them understand that, look, Mr. President had mandated me to let them know that what they are facing is aware, and that he is assuring them, reassuring them that this issue of insecurity, particularly as it affects them in Abuja, will be a thing of the past. And we're able to see also that the stakeholders were able to point out to us that, look, there are things that we think that if we have, we'll be able to curtail some of this, because we know some of the routes that these people come. And because it becomes difficult, it becomes easier for these criminals to hit and run, and then you do not have anything to go after them. When you talk about the roads, it's not there, so bad, and some other things. And we did promise them, but what actually do you think that you really need now that will be able to also help to curtail some of this? And they identify some key routes that they believe that these bandits, these criminals have been using to terrorize them. And when I came back, I did brief Mr. President of what they are talking about. And he gave a directive immediately that, look, go in there, make sure that these jobs are done. As I speak to you, the routes that they have mentioned to us are ongoing now as I speak to you. And that's why I saw us flagging up most of these routes. And we consider those as emergency. Now, they have also identified other key routes they believe that if government takes action, that will also help them. And that we have also taken into consideration by putting into our 2024 budget, which is now before the National Assembly. I believe that today the House of Reps will have the second reading and then commit it to the committee stage for further deliberation. And we also talked about intelligence, that they need to give out information. Information is key. Again, you have to give them the confidence that this information, you have to protect those who have given that information. Because part of the problem is that, look, how do I know if I give out this information, whether those that gave out the information will not use it against us? By these criminals coming after them, we did assure them, I've told them the method in which this information will be given out. And that is not what I'm going to let the public know. And that has paid off. I can tell you immediately after the stakeholders consultation meeting, and luckily again we had a very proactive CP in the person of Igwe, who also knows the terrain of Abuja. He has been the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operation before, so luckily he is now the CP. So Abuja area is not new to him. And within a week, we were able to, apprehend the major culprits, those who are behind the series of kidnappings in FCT.
Was it because of the ransom?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily that. Well, that could be a motivating factor too, because the police has to use that money to also give out to informants in order to get intelligence. Remember, you can have all the weapons without intelligence. You have nothing to achieve. So intelligence is key first. Being able to have information. This is where these criminals are. This is where we think we can go and get them. In fact, remember the legislative aid to Senator Ned Woko, who was killed, who was kidnapped and killed and was buried in a shallow grave. The major culprit, these boys were in a forest in Nasarawa, in particular Toto. And if you see what happened, first of all, we got Dahiru before, and then got the second person, and these are the major sponsors of kidnapping and other forms of umbrella. The moment we took two of them and some of their kingpins, that's why I see that the whole thing came down. Again, police, it's unfortunate to say this, that some of our, or mostly the security agencies, in particular, I would say, the police here, not adequately equipped. In fact, you can't believe it that the police command of the city do not even have ordinary tracking device. You can't believe that. Not only them, even the FCT command of the state, the state services don't even have. So the only, and this is the state of government, and the only one they have is at the headquarters. So if there are things to do, they have to go to the headquarters, which is not supposed to be that. And we have said, look, and luckily I told Mr. President that, look, we have to do something. And there must be the emergency procurement of this equipment. Because if we go through the normal process of procurement, it takes you months. In fact, let me tell you, last year, we applied to Bureau of Public Procurement. Look, we want to have vehicles to launch by December, and other communication gadgets allow us have emergency procurement. They refused. I'm not saying that not doing that was what led to some of those kidnapping, or what led to the kidnapping of the families and the rest. But if we had had this opportunity to launch members of the Republic, that alone puts here before the criminal that, look, these people are
sort of a step back.
Yes. But it was when it happened in January, I have to run to Mr. President, look, we can continue. As Mr. President gave us emergency procurement approval immediately that we must get this equipment, and which we have done. Then the only snag we now have, again, I have said, in terms of security, we don't need to bring bureaucracy. We have now applied to the Office of National Security Advisor to allow us have end user certificate of most of those equipment. When I appeared before the Senate yesterday, they closed those sections. And I briefed them. They were all happy with what we have done and what steps we are taking. But then again, we are able to tell them, no, look at the problem that we are facing. And I came back. Then I saw the data from the office of the National Security. So I was thinking that approval has been given. Until when I read it, I said, look, we should let those who will use it, take for example, the police, the SSS, be the ones they will not apply for the end user certificate. That will now go back for them to now write it. This is what I'm talking about, bureaucracy.
Okay. Right, after that meeting with the Senate,
you
said, because that was part of what we had read sometime in January, and you said some of these security incidents we see are staged or politicized.
No, I said...
What did you mean by that?
No, I said some of these kidnapping are sometimes state managed. Sometimes, take for example, this is my family, right? Right? I have a driver, right? I have a cook. My driver takes my children to school, right? Unknown to me, my driver is the one behind the kidnap of my children. What do you want anybody to know, to do at that point? How will any security person use to say you are not vigilant? If not, how would that kidnapping take place? Is the driver that takes the children to school has connived with these criminals? Look, by social time, we are going to school. By social time, we are coming back. Now, instead of him to take the normal route, where it may be difficult, he takes the route where they are agreed. And then you hear the children have been kidnapped and the driver escaped. Of course, the blame will be on the security agencies. Now, how do you find that? Until when the police or security agencies go into action and then finds out that it was the driver that masterminded the kidnap.
Is there a similar case with all of these cases that you had?
I was a governor. I'm telling you for example what we know.
Well, how about in FCT now? Any case that looks like this one recently?
I don't need to reveal certain things. All I've told you that, yes, we agree. The point I want to let you know that we agree that kidnappings take place. But the most kidnappings too are inside house kidnapping. You cannot run away from it. And two, you may not agree, but some people have this habit that, look, let's make it uncomfortable for the government. I can tell you that. Let's make it uncomfortable. Let the government have problems. Don't see that. It happened. But not to the extent that it happened. Their business is to blow it above what has really happened. I'm not saying that is an excuse. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that with my experience, with what I know, sometimes something happened after Buhari. You know, we have boundaries with Kaduna, Niger, Nasarawa, and Kogi. Now after Buhari, there's a community is in Kaduna, right? When that kidnapping happened, they said in FCT. But it is not FCT. It is in Kaduna. But, but that is a community close to Buhari, which is an area council in FCT. So the point was saying that. But some people will say, look, it has happened in Buhari. And where is Buhari? Buhari is in the FCT.
Honorable Minister, you mentioned the case about, the hideouts that you got in Toto, for instance. That's next to Abaji. Nasarawa, but that's, you run through Abaji to get to that place. In our last discussion, you were talking about collaboration with, these states in terms of, monitoring these borders and especially the forests that provide cover for these outlaws.
Yes.
How far with that, initiative?
No, you see again, when we talk about monitoring, with all due respect, I'm not trying to indict anybody. These are problems that have been there before, probably the sort of governors that are there now, and the present government at federal level that is there. The terrain is so bad, no good roads. So how do you move to? You talk about forests. You require equipment, particularly drones. And you know how expensive to buy drones. How many states can authoritatively say today we have the capacity to buy drones? In fact, that was one of the approval that Mr. President gave to us, that we said, look, we are going to purchase our own drone to help in surveillance and in operation, particularly within these areas, boundary, that the topography is so bad, is so hilly, and where you have the forest. And we have made sure that it is provided in the 2024 statutory budget. I briefed this to the National Assembly yesterday, and they were highly elated. And again, let me tell you what I've discovered in terms of operation. My experience as a governor tells you this. In FCT, there's nothing like call security vote. Yes, nothing like that.
What do they call it?
Yes, that does not like that. You see, I have never seen this, where security don't want to have a covert operation. They have to put it in writing. I have to minute it to the permanent secretary. He had to minute it to DFA.
It's no longer covered.
And bureaucracy for an operation that has to go on this night.
Probably covert as well.
Of course, why do you have how do you know the man who is going to do the approval is not the one who will leak the information?
So are you changing that?
What National Assembly said, they were going to do that. That's not possible. And
so nothing like that is on ground?
Nothing like that as far as FCT is concerned. No, nothing like that. In fact, it is here I found out that you pay through bank, security, I've never seen that. You pay through the bank. So they have to access security for through banks. How do you pay your informants? Tell me.
Without revealing the identity.
Without revealing their identity, how do you pay your informants? And I wondered. I said, no wonder.
Honorable Minister.
How will you think you will succeed? People may have abuse the issue of security vote, but that does not mean that it has not, it shouldn't be there, because it has its own effect. Because as a governor, my director officer comes by 1 a.m. Sir, there's an operation we must carry out this night. We require 10,000 naira, for example. I need to go and call who? The DFA, the PAMSEC. Please, can you make a bit more? Who does that in security? Nobody does that. But that's what is obtainable here. You can imagine the police asking that that these criminals use some special motorbikes for you to get to the mountains. They also need such special bikes, if not more powerful than theirs. Not available. We have just tried to procure about 100 now to aid them. But these things were not there. And what do you want them to do? They're a handicap. I went to the CP command. In fact, I got there, I looked up, I looked down. I just shook my head. I said, we're not serious about this. As FCT, we have no FCT Special Intervention Squad that can immediately, in the command room, I've got information that this is what is going on so place. With all the technology gathered there, nothing. As governor, the former IG commissioned the intelligence center, which has all communication gadgets. Before anything happens, they are aware, and they have sent signals all over.
They are state-owned in the region.
Yes, I built 2 commissioned by the same former IG. And how can a city like FCT? You don't have it. All you have is a regular like state police command.
So some of what you've spoken about, bureaucracy, some of these challenges, these are some of the things that some people have also identified at different points, meaning, look, something needs to be done differently. Right now, there's this conversation as to multi-level policing. What's your impression about that? Is that something you think we should adopt to get results?
In terms of going to state police, there are so many issues that have gone. Now, when you say do something differently, what does it stop you? Like what we are doing now, that we are going to build a center that is FCT special squad, special intervention squad, that will have support of the soldiers, I mean the military, the police, the SSS. It's like a joint
command center
that has everything they have or they will need. Not anything that happens is just also police a command. So this becomes a special intervention squad that will not give any opportunity for some of these miscreants to operate.
Perhaps if
and so when you are talking about, so if what you are saying that we have this problem because if we have allowed state police, if we have allowed community police, or what we call council police, look at the advantages and the disadvantages. And let people tell themselves the simple truth. I would prefer state police. No problem about that. How many states can pay police salaries? How many states have money to buy equipment, ammunition for states? We're talking about, it's not because Rivers can. It's not because Lagos can. It's not because Delta can. How many states in Nigeria today
are paying teachers?
I don't want to go into that.
What about what if states can afford it? Then let them go ahead.
No, but you cannot say one state should have police state, and then in the federal system.
Yeah, but it's a democracy. So everybody can grow at the same pace. They can grow at different pace.
Well, you see, our own federal system is quite different. You see, in America, you see, a state can say, look, I have no economic capability. I would therefore join this state for us to be one. It happens. But it's not here. Ethnicity will come in. Religion will come in.
Domination.
All those kind of things. Now, so when people talk about state police, that's nothing. We're just looking at it theoretically.
But Minister, if we take it from what Timberlane was saying, you spoke about some of the communication you had, your interaction with at the centers, and they were talking about maybe the ability to at least push back a little when these offensives come from the outlaws. Was that in the conversation? For instance, the youths in those areas, for instance.
Some of those.
I said we even did what you call. We told all the area council, listen, you are going to employ local vigilante, and again you have to be careful. These local vigilante must be profiled. Who are they? So we don't create problem for ourselves. You want to eliminate criminals, you're also creating
equipping the outlaws
by criminals. So who are they? They should be profiled by the police or other security agencies. 2, will you allow them to carry ammunition? I mean, weapons. What kind of weapons? So I don't end up arming people that you cannot take control of tomorrow. Or they will just merely be for intelligence purpose, which I would prefer for intelligence gathering. And I can tell you, that has helped. And the police have told me that most of the intelligence they gather in apprehending these criminals mostly come from their local sources. And they try as much as they can not to let people know. Now, and that's why the danger, if you say pay money to their account. Mind you, as the money comes to their account, somebody goes, who is this guy? 10 million naira came today. 5 million naira came the other day. What is working? You are now exposing.
You want to give them cash?
I don't know what you call cash. All over the world. If you know what security is all about. All over the world. So you don't know that NIA, if they want most of the operations, I don't buy cash. It's not something you go and collect money from the bank. Who does that? Who told you that the CIA, they don't carry cash to do their operation? Who told you that? It's all over the world.
Okay.
It's just that we in Nigeria have this mentality. Once you hear cash, it means that, oh, this is a corruption. In most intelligence gathering all over the world, they spend money.
Leave no trace.
You won't know. If say you want to operate here, you don't know how much they have spent to make sure they are looking for a Chamberlain. And they will go all out to make sure that they get it. It's information. You don't know what they do. So it is not peculiar. All I'm saying that most operations carried out or being carried by the intelligence and by the security agencies are not supposed to be known by people. It's only probably the head. Sometimes, even me as the head, they may not tell me. Sometimes, except it's very, very necessary.
That's
why,
with the level of decadence you've seen in the FCT Police Command now, what are your plans?
No. Don't limit it to police now. Say, I didn't say the level. No. I will refuse to accept the level of decadence in police command. No, I will refuse to accept that.
Okay.
If you say,
you said they don't have common tracking device.
That does not mean it's according to the level of the decadence you are talking about. Okay. All I'm saying, even the state services don't even have it. Ordinarily, why should it be so? It is not because of this administration. This administration came when? It has never been there. That's the point I'm making. And the problem we also have is that these problems have been there for years. And now everybody expects you that the problem that has been there for over 20 years, then within 7 months, it has disappeared. You must give the government some kind of kudos. That yes, we know it is not easy, but are there steps being taken, like what we are doing in FCT today, that you have even attempted to the fact that yes, we can say that's relative calmness in FCT. We cannot say
request for more security presence in those far-flung area councils, Abuja, Buhari.
Okay, I see what we have done. Take for example, when we went to Gwagwalada, we were told that look, they need some more police stations presence at certain areas, and which we have promised to provide. I've told the CP we need a design as usual. It is there in the 2024 budget. We included it, about 4 police stations, 2 in Gwagwalada, 1 in either Parley or Abuja. I think there are 4, but I will not be able to really do. And then some other military presence. And to help them make sure these roads that they have identified as critical areas that these criminals always come through, we must have to act, which we have promised that go home, it must be done, and we have started doing it. You see, this is the first time a government is even talking about rural. People don't see the impact of governance. They don't even care. So that's why they are surprised Well, we went to, there's a place, Jiwa, and they call the road Sabiru or Sabiru. Sabiru, but you know, it is a hell. It is a hell. One day, and I told them we were going to do it, and we came, and the road is going over everywhere. You can see the happiness in the faces of the people. There's no magic in this. Just, you see, we want to have this confidence. You know, what has happened between the people and government is that government tells them something, government will not fulfill it. So, we don't care. But there's still a government now, said, look, we are going to do this. And then in the next 2 days, the government has come to do it. That creates some confidence. And people are believing that, yes, we are part of the government now. We can now tell government this is what is going on, and government will intervene. So most of the security issues are not just, you know, you cannot, you know, solve some of these problems without involving the local communities.
Finally, to put a cap, because we're talking about security all this while, but to put a cap, apart from the issue of, you know, the pushback in terms of, you know, the equipment gap, getting equipments and all that, another aspect could be, perhaps, since we know those who are involved in these are, you know, youths and all that, while this infrastructure development that you have been doing are going on, is there perhaps, you know, an avenue that could lead to more job creation, mass recruitment that would deter youths from thinking about the quick wins of, you know, kidnap?
First of all, when there's massive infrastructure going on, that also tells you employment is going on. Employment must not be only white-collar jobs where you must work in the ministry. There's no way you can employ everybody in the ministry for that to be, for you to say, oh, we don't have unemployment. What is important, take for example, in encouraging youths to be able to own something they can be doing while government support them. Take for example, if in Abuja today, and we're talking about agriculture is key, right? What stops government in encouraging some of those youths to own some of the farms and give them something to make sure those farms grow? It doesn't need to be. See, the problem we have is that we think about billions and billions and billions. That's the only way. If a government can say, look, this young man or this group of people, after all, we have shortage of fish. The demand is so high, right? Can we see how we can set up some farms where some of these youths can own up the farms? How much does it take? That's a job, a creation. That's a job, a creation. Yes. And we're working at that. We have the mentality, our youth also have this mentality that except you make billions first. Nobody wants to start with, oh, I made 100,000 naira profit. No. Millions of naira start as profit, which is not a good idea. So many people are billionaires today, they started from somewhere and go to somewhere. You see, you employ him for start with 200,000. He looks at it. What am I going to do? 200,000. That is a bad orientation. And the present government, in various areas, have mapped out strategies on how our youth would engage themselves and gain and be on their own to be able to feed their...
If you could just add that, Honorable Minister, you talked about the launch of the mass transit, yes. CNG buses last time.
Yes.
What's going on with that?
Yeah, that is correct. Luckily, like I said, if not the problem we had with the Bureaucratic Procurement, we would have lost that at December. The emergency procurement to go ahead. When I brought it to the attention of Mr. President, when he invited the service chiefs and all of us to a meeting, and I just look, this is the problem we're having. Immediately, he approved, and the buses have been procured, and we're doing all the details. And I told the Senate yesterday, by the time we roll out these boxes and taxes, certain areas like Maitama, Asokoro will not allow keke napep or ordinary bike. Well, I mean, we must tell ourselves the simple truth. This is the capital of a country. This is a city where you have foreigners, ambassadors. I don't understand how we can allow at this stage keke napep to take over the entire area of such areas. Security risk. Where I live, keke napep, this and that and that. So one day I was coming back. They have taken over the entire road. I came back in the night. I said, what is this? And I said, well, you have no alternative. Therefore, you can't chase them out. Now we have alternative. Now we roll it the taxis and the buses out. Then we can also leave. So
will they be part of those who can apply to get those taxis, or what's this? How is this scheme going to play?
Yes. What you see, in this case, the drivers will be employed by us, will be profiled by the police. In fact, not only that, we will not even allow now every route, you see, taxi on the road. We are going to make sure there are routes. You cannot apply, or you cannot apply in so-so route. You are given approval for so-so route. And we know those who apply in those routes.
What he's saying is that in Lagos now,
yes,
the downfall drivers, the moonway drivers, they were integrated into the BRT scheme.
That's what I'm saying. I said, this keke, if they want to, we will employ them.
Okay.
That's the point of what we're trying to make. Even those who run private
Uber.
Government has to know who are these workers. I mean, the mere fact you run Uber does not mean that the security agent should not know who is. So we'll be able to hold you responsible.
How do we ensure that this project does not go the way of previous ones in the past? We saw, I think it was under Malam El-Rufai,
yeah.
We saw green taxis in Abuja. They were all run aground. At another point, we saw buses. We saw buses, those red and white buses. There's a place now along Kubwa Road where you see all of them parked. All of them in one bad shape or the other. How are you going to ensure that this does not go the way of those?
Again, we must also, leadership is important. Leadership is important. It's not going to be run as government. You know, one thing I found out in our society, everybody says government property. Belongs to nobody. It's run as if it's a business enterprise, but not for the sole purpose of making profit, so to speak, but be able to operate very well and sustain itself. Our own concern is the area of fighting insecurity. That's our major concern, not necessarily to make money. We must keep the people to have something to feed themselves, while at the same time we are monitoring the issue of security.
So do we have a date when this scheme will kick off?
You know, let me use this adage. You know, this turtle have been there in the pit latrine for
3 months.
Over years. And he never died. Just the day they said they're going to bring the turtle, I said, look, if you don't bring me out now, I'm going to die. You have been there for years.
So he started complaining of the smell of the place.
So it is just now that you already have hope. You've already procured the buses and this thing. Only to put this more security. And now you are now in your tell us, will it be tomorrow? I mean, you have 90% assurance now that it's available. It's available. That I can tell you the truth. And the CNG buses you have talked about. Just yesterday, I was working on the file of people who are interested to bring in is the CNG buses, and we have also said, look, we too will not wait for only private investors. The government will also too be part of procuring before we have, some of this when you wait for private investors, the time you would want it, they delay you. So we have been able also to put in our budget that will require also number of the CNG buses. So, but whoever that also intends to partner with government is.
What about if one doesn't want to partner, wants to do it as his own business?
It's not
in the FCT.
You still need to come to government. We're talking about security now. We're talking about security. Is that, like we said, we are building terminals now, and it's not amazing. It's not surprising to you. A city like Abuja don't have terminals. Where you can say, look, go to this terminal if you are going to social area. Go to this terminal if you are going to social area. Nothing like that. Everybody just on the road. You don't even know who is picking you. It's unfortunate. And we are building 3 years ago in certain areas. And you can't believe it. We want to do public procurement. These are things we require even to be built immediately. We can't continue to wait. They rejected. I told the Senate yesterday, part of our problem is our procurement law. There is indeed to amend the procurement law to give room for certain things like this. How do you expect, we're talking about fighting of insecurity, and you want to go the long haul of procurement process. You must make a waiver. For issues of security, you must make a waiver. Because I require to give, say, SSL, for example, 10 vehicles now because they need it. I require to give police 20 now because they need it. And I said, look, DPP, can you give us waiver for us to have single, direct purchase? Police needs it now. No, you can advertise.
No certificate of no.
Advertise take you 6 weeks. The bidding process, the rest of it, before certificate of no objection will come. These are things that hinder the progress or the fight against insecurity. I'm not saying that you should do whatever in everything. I'm not saying that, which is not allowed. But procurement of security matters should be waived, should be given emergency. That's the point I'm trying to. That's the point I'm trying to say. And if that happens, it will go a long way in reducing crime. It is not. It's look. Give kudos to the police. Give kudos to security agencies. Despite the fact that they lack most of this equipment, yet they have recorded a lot of successes. People just, the only thing you hear, somebody was kidnapped today. Our security agencies are doing nothing. If we tell you the successes they record every day, you will marvel. The successes they record every day. There is no night where they don't go to where they say criminal spots, where the boys with the Indian ham and the rest of it. Look at it. We have identified all over the flyovers, under the flyovers, criminals. You know, some of them stay there, sleep there, then they move out to operate. We have identified. So what did you do? It's okay. We are going to fence it all.
Fence?
All the roundabouts under the flyovers will not allow it again.
How about improving on the lighting system within the FCT?
It's part of what we're saying, because that also helps to fight crime. You look at the solar power we use, As you want one today, come tomorrow morning. It's been vandalized or stolen. Now you ask yourself, yes, you say, oh, what is police doing? Well, police be manning every pole. Every pole. Look at the manhole.
The covers.
The manhole on the road. You arrest them. You charge them to court. What is the sanction? 3,000, 5,000. So I told the National Assembly, you must amend the law too.
Okay.
To make it strong, to be deterrent. Like in the States. We made sure kidnapping is dealt a penalty. And if you're a kidnapper, you are caught. Everything you have, all the buildings you have, will all go down. The government will confiscate.
If I could just add this bit, pardon me, Your Excellency, Honorable Minister, is the FCT thinking about, because now the heat is crazy, and I know that AEDC, by law, they have that franchise. Is the FCT thinking about probably owning their own facility?
It's an issue of power. It's capital intensive. The problem with government is want to carry everything at the same time. Yes, power is necessary to help investment and the rest of it, but you are limited by funds. What you do, what are the major things now, and which you have a little resources for you to implement. Not that going into power will not be a good thing, but mind you, it's capital intensive.
If we stay
and we're not like oil producing states where you have your 13% derivation. What we have here is just fighting to get internal generated revenue. Nothing. Even you, most of you, when you hear that you want to collect revenue, you are not even happy.
But paying ground rents now, people are paying now.
You are not. How many people? In fact, you know, it's very, very unfortunate. People just want government to do everything, but nobody asks, where will government get this money from? Government, FCT cannot go and print money. The only thing it can survive on is on revenue. And when people say revenue, who are these people paying the revenue? Is it the poor people? How many poor people live in Matamaya? How many people own billions of houses in Asokoro and Garaki? The poor people are living where nobody is taxing them. But the big men, people like you, who don't like to pay.
No, we do.
You have excuses upon excuses upon excuses.
We clearly do pay.
Look at the publication. We chase you up all about. Look at the publications we made that were given extra 2 weeks, over 10,000 people houses. These houses are not in the rural areas. These houses are within the city, owned by big men. You live in a house of 2.something billion. We cannot pay a tax for a year of 200,000 naira. What kind of system is that? What kind of system is that? And you want me to provide road? You want me to provide street light? You want me to do sanitation? Yet you cannot pay a mansion you are living in 2.something billion, or even when you sell it now, you can sell it to 3 billion, you put it in your pocket, then pay the ordinary ground rent. The government has given you a CFO of 200,000, not monthly, yearly. Government will continue to chase you. We begin to publish your name every day. And then you go and complain that the minister is embarrassing you.
Let me take you away from something that is making you angry. Let's get to something that will make you happy.
Yes.
The last time we were here with you,
yep,
you told us that the road revolution going on within the municipal area is not going to be limited to the AMA, but that you were taking it to the area councils, all the area councils.
Yep.
Subsequently, we've seen you flag off one road project or the other in those area councils. We understand that. You are even making more promises. Bring us up to speed about what is happening.
I don't know why you think that's what is going to make me happy. It shouldn't make me happy because if this is what ought to have been before now.
But people don't pay rent, it's making you angry.
Would have been focusing. On other things. Or if people were living up to expectation in terms of their rent or their taxes, would have also expanded more than what we have today. Now the contract that was awarded to Arab contractors from the airport junction to Kuje is about 15 kilometers, 6 lane to Arab contractors. That contract was awarded sometimes 6 years ago. Abandoned. So I was going to Kuje to flag off one of these rural roads. So I was asking, what is this? I said, well, this contract has been awarded. So luckily when I got to the area, one of the demands or requests they made was that if I can see how the contractors can come back to see whether they can do this road. You don't need to leave Kuja and live here. If that road is done, it takes you 30-35 minutes to Kuje. So why do I need to live here? And I promised the chiefs, the emirs, I said, look, it is not you begging. It's the responsibility of government. We have to make it easier for us too. In the city, we can't continue. Everybody's moving into the city, and that's why we're having much problems. If we provide the basic amenities, even in the area councils, that will discourage people from living.
Part of that is the light rail. You said it's almost done.
Yes, I'm coming. So what I'm trying to say, today, I feel glad, I feel happy. Sometimes too, some of you should take it on your own, without prompting us, without telling us. Go and see, go to Kujena, go and see what's happening. Every day I get calls. Is this possible that this road is going on as expected? I went there. You know what the managing director of the company, Arab Contractors, he said, Mr. Minister, we're happy. We're expecting money, but we are doing the job because we know you will pay. Confidence. Because they know I will pay. And the next 2 days, he called me, thank you, Mr. Minister, we have received our money. And I said, not only that, you are receiving another one today, tomorrow. You see, it is the renewed hope agenda, Mr. President. Everybody has lost hope. Now you're bringing back hope. No, don't lose hope. We have the capacity to do this thing that you felt that nobody. That is the agenda of Mr. President. So now you talked about the light rail.
Yes.
You know, it's one area I have been praying to God. God, you've done everything for me in life. This one, I need it. If you do this, and I leave this world, I will be satisfied. Because Mr. President has specifically, in the last NBA General Conference, said, I don't need their land. I need to ride on that metro line. You know what that means? Before over 5,000 lawyers. And the way the contract was so structured is something that if you don't have the heart, you run away. You run away. Because you don't know whether you will achieve it or not. But because we are determined, I said, it doesn't matter. Whatever it takes, we must. So, it's not just the race, the operation. There was an agreement approved by the Federal Executive Council for the CCECC to train the operators for 2.5 years at the sum of $128 million. For the operation to train 128 million euros approved by Federal Executive Council. So we came. We said, oh, most of the equipment have been vandalized. So they awarded another contract for the repairs and this and that and that. Almost about $60 million US. The headache was too much. I ran to President, look, they said, go and do their work. So, but I can tell you authoritatively, God willing, the way things are now, it's likely that we'll succeed by May.
How about your
Can you quickly conclude on the
all the feeder roads are all going to be completed in the next 1 month. The 6 feeder roads, from communities to all the train stations, as I speak to you, are all 75, 80%. As I speak, because that is key. Without those feeder roads, you are doing nothing. Because they will not have access to the stations. Yeah. So that we have done that. But we still have a problem with the operation. So the company can see is it came. The board agreement approved by the Federal Executive Council. I'm not talking about it was headache. $128 million converted into Naira. Those who are good in mathematics. Converted. So I called them, I said to them, I said, hey, are you sabotaging this project or what? How do you tell Nigerians that we are going to pay $128 million to train our people? What kind of training is that? I will not accept.
All right, Honorable Minister,
but the point I'm trying to make, as of today, in fact, I'm trying to make a note to the Federal Council. We have come from $128 million now to $75 million. Even that, I'm still not comfortable. Because when you convert it with the current trade now, it's about $100 billion naira.
But bottom line is that
we have been able to achieve to that level, and we are going to, by the grace of God, ride on that.
On May 29th. All right.
May.
All right. Let's hang in on that. That will be a convenient point to go on a quick break for just about 2 minutes. We'll be right back after 2 minutes.
There is always more to a story than the scrimmage line. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Voted as the best TV station of the year. TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen. Following all nationwide big